Hi, it's Tony with lidl.doodle. We are going to do an unboxing. This is my first order of 2025 and I ordered it a few weeks ago. It took a little bit to get here because it got stuck in the snow. This is from Drumgools, and I will explain how this purchase came to be. Because we're going to the pen show in a couple of weeks, I've told myself I'm not going to buy anything before then, although I did end up buying something from River City Pen Co. because he's not going to be at the California Pen Show, and there's just been something that I've been wanting for a while, so I went ahead and just ordered it. Okay, so this stuff out of the way. I don't know. Unboxings are always a little awkward because it's loud and kind of messy. All right, so this prompted this order. My husband sent me a link to this at work, and we had just bought our Esterbrook Jurassic pens, and he was like, "Oh, Drumgools has dinosaur blotting paper." And I was like, that's too adorable. But I was also like, okay, that's like $12 or something. I'm not going to go to the trouble of shipping from Texas just for $12, which then led to the rest of the purchase. I have talked about a few times wanting an ink muddler, and then every time I would go to a website that I knew had them, the retailer was out. And fortunately, when I went to buy my dinosaur blotting paper, Drumgools had this in stock. I'm going to have to play with this before I do anything on camera because I don't know techniques with this guy, but I'll show it to you. So, oh, okay, this is kind of flat. For some reason, I thought this was like a ball. This stirs shimmer ink, and then it will also serve to do a swatch. And then this side has a nice tight plastic cover, is probably a pretty fine point glass dip pen. I did read, this glass dip pen isn't meant for, long writing sessions or anything, maybe like others are, but it'll be nice for a little ink swatcher. All right. I was really excited that the muddler was available and in that order, but I had been thinking about considering grabbing the Esterbrook Back to the Land Funky Lake because I love my quirky leaf, and I thought I would love to add the Funky Lake to my collection. So I went ahead and grabbed it. Now, if you have been watching my channel for a little bit, you know that I did an unboxing of my quirky leaf, and when I opened the box, it was the brown one. I can't remember the brown one's name, but it was kind of awkward and I didn't expect it. And then it was on camera, and unboxing videos are already awkward, and then it was opening the wrong color. And anyway, so let's take a look and see if this is actually Funky Lake. Oh, it is. I originally didn't think I was going to purchase this pen because I don't know, I don't need two of the same pen, and I was just like, oh, I would rather have the green all day long than the blue, but you guys, I just love my Quirky Lake so much. I take it with me every single day. I write with it every single day. It's got a journaler nib, and I decided to try a different nib with the Funky Lake. And this is going to be really interesting for me because I got a fine flex nib. Number one, I don't have many fine nibs. I don't gravitate toward them. The fine nibs I have are either pens that were gifted to me or like my Preppy, my, I can't even think of any others I have. I have a couple. One of my friends brought me back a pen from a Pilot from Japan, and it's a fine. I love it. I write with it all the time. But when I buy my funky pens, no pun intended, I like to get mediums, broads, double broads, etc. So having a fine, not extra fine, it's a fine flex. This is going to be really interesting because I'm excited about the flex. I have not had a flex nib for quite some time. The last flex nib I got was in a fairly inexpensive Noodler's pen, and it was trash and it smelled really bad. So that didn't last. Anyway, I was looking for what ink to put in this. That was pretty much what inspired me to pull all my blue inks out of the ink closet and see, what colors did I have that would maybe go with this. And I kind of just came up short. And I thought, well, I've got a little bit of time. I can do a little bit of research. I reached out to Simone on Instagram, and just because she had posted a picture of her pens and she had Funky Lake. So I was like, oh, she's going to know what might look good in Funky Lake. So I reached out to her and she responded with a Pilot Irishizuku ink, Kujaku. Fortunately, look at how tiny this bottle is. I got this off Amazon. And normally the Irishizuku bottles are, if you've seen them, they're bigger. I could try this one out in a 15 mil and see if I liked it. Now I'm going to show you the ink sample that I already did with this, and I'm going to ask, hypothetically, because you're not going to answer me, do you think this is like a beautiful match? The answer is yes. Internet, it is a perfect match. So thank you, Simone, because I love this combination. I'm going to have to ink it up and do a little writing sample for you, and we'll see how the fine flex does. I know that my pen reviews, it's not even a pen review. I'm just showing you that I got a new pen. The packaging of these Back to the Lands is super fun, and if you've seen any reviews of these pens, you already know that. It comes with this little magnet. I don't know, like it could be a pen holder. I don't think I would trust it, but it's a nice magnet, and this little straight edge ruler. And then each of the Back to the Lands come with like a little special gift, and this one came with this little baggie and an ink sample. I would be willing to bet this is probably the Funky Lake ink, which I'll check it out online. I didn't particularly love the matchiness of it, but we'll see, because once I get it on some paper, it might look different. With the Back to the Lands quirky leaf, the little extra side thing was this little like microfiber pen and maybe ink wiper offer. I don't know. And then it came with an orange magnet. That's cute. All right, so I am loving this color in here as it's drying. You can see it does have a subtle sheen when it's nice and dry, that on my Tomoe River paper it looked kind of reddish pink. So Esterbrook, and I can already tell that I'm gonna need to work this nib just a little bit because it's a fine. I'm very sensitive to feedback and scratchiness. This feels just a smidge scratchy for me, and that's not a concern. I'll show you what I do. Oh, back. It's not super flexy, I'm noticing, but for a fine nib, it is kicking out the ink. Wow, that's great. Here, when I get a nib that's kind of scratchy, I have what's called micro mesh. It's super, super duper fine. Like, I don't know if it's sandpaper. It doesn't feel like sandpaper, but it's like that. Super, super duper fine. And I just kind of run the nib along and make some doodles. And the cool thing is this is water, or it washes off. So while you'll still see, you know, ink from past pens, it's kind of like it stained it, but this doesn't pick any up on it. So I'll just kind of do this for a little bit and then test it on another piece of paper. And then if I still feel the scratchiness, oh, that made it worse. So sometimes it just takes a few times of going back and forth. Oh, that feels nice. Before you can kind of feel the smoothness to your liking. And I don't know if it's because I'm a lefty, I hold the pen a different angle or a different way, but this feels great, and it doesn't even feel like my other fines. Like, this is almost feels like a kind of on the fine medium side. So I think I'm gonna really like this, and I'm happy with this. I love this color. You know, sometimes when you look at things online, you're not really sure if the color is going to be similar, or, you know, how it's going to show up in your lighting. But there they are, my two little back to the land Esterbrook's that I am very happy with, and my silly little dinosaur blotting papers, and my glass ink muddler. So once I figure out how to use this guy and feel like I won't be wasting your time, I'll show you with some ink, maybe in my next ink video, how I'm liking it. So that's it. I just wanted to share my first purchase of 2025 and do a little writing sample so you could see what a fine flex nib from Esterbrook looks like. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.